Bobby Shaylee is not alone in her frustration with the Pink campaign. A 2012 documentary, Pink Ribbons, Inc., captures the sentiment of many breast cancer survivors. Take a listen.
It's almost like our disease is being used for people to profit. And that's not okay.
I wish they could also hear from all the women who have been through breast cancer and resent the effort to make it pretty and feminine and normal. It's not normal. It's horrible. It has to be stopped.
Pinkwashing, that's what critics are calling the massive marketing campaign behind Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The NFL may be one of the highest profile supporters of the Pink campaign, but they are actually so many organizations promoting it. The Better Business Bureau issued a warning to watch out for those exploiting the cause. To discuss where best to put your money toward this cause and how effective it is, I'm joined by the Chief Revenue and Marketing Officer for the American Cancer Society, Lin MacMaster, and Stacy Palmer. She's the editor of the Chronicle of Philanthropy. Thank you, guys, for being here with me today. Lin, I want to start with you. I'm not sure if you heard Bobby Shea there and some of her concerns and some of the concerns of people in this movie saying that they feel somewhat exploited, that maybe the awareness phase is over and they need to focus more on research. What's your response to what she was saying?
I can understand her position, but I think that there needs to be some clarity around it. First, I too am a breast cancer survivor, right. So it affects me personally as well as the work that I do with the American Cancer Society. So when you think about Pink, when you think about October, when you think about the companies that are involved with generating revenue that right. goes to the, in the case of the NFL with the crucial catch to the American Cancer Society, we raised $4.5 million. And the question is, where does that money go? The money goes to change grants. 100% of it goes to change grants. Those change grants are in 23 different communities across the U.S. in areas.
Lots of them connected to NFL franchises.
A lot of them connected to the NFL franchises. And what that money goes to is the necessary screenings for women to have early detection right. on breast cancer.
Okay.
So is there money that goes to research from other revenue that's generated through other programs to the American Cancer Society? Absolutely. This particular program is about prevention.
And so if I buy a pink hat, I'm going to stay with you on this one, Lin. If I buy a pink hat, it says, I don't know, Pittsburgh Steelers, in October, and it's $19, I mean, or $20, does $20 go to you? What's your sense of that? Because it seems that some of it goes to the NFL, some of it goes to the manufacturer. What's your sense?
I can tell you that 100% of the money that the NFL raises through that program comes to us. Now, are there costs associated with producing that merchandise?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is the graphic we've had, and this is from Business Insider that did that piece, which is why you're here to respond to that. They say 50% actually goes to the retailers, 37.5% goes to the manufacturer, only 8.01% goes to American Cancer Society, Cancer Research, and the rest goes to the NFL and for administrative costs. What's your sense of that breakdown?
My sense of the breakdown is that, we're talking about cause branding. We are talking about an area where there are people who are manufacturing products.
Right.
They're not giving the products away for free.
Right.
Is it, if you're asking me, is it an exorbitant amount of money that goes to these organizations? No, I think they're making reasonable margin on them. But I think the bigger question is what comes to the American Cancer Society.
Stacy, I want you to jump in here. Give me some context here, just in terms of the NFL, sort of the profit breakdown that we see from them selling this merchandise and it going to research.
one of the things that's very hard to tell in the whole cause marketing area is that we don't have great information about how much actually goes to the causes, because there aren't the same kinds of requirements that you might have with other kinds of charitable giving. So, you know, the different percentages that people are giving, we really don't know. It's not a requirement. There's not a federal agency that's collecting this sort of data. And that's that's why consumers have to ask the question and really find out what they want to know about. There was a poll that was done recently of Americans, and they said most of them are pretty skeptical about how much money actually does go from these products. They still buy them. They're still very interested in doing it, but they don't believe that all that much money is really going. They're showing their support for the cause that way. They may volunteer, do other things, get engaged in fundraising. I don't think they think that this money is the only thing that's supporting an organization as big as the Cancer Society.
Yeah. And I think there's one other thing that we've missed in this discussion is the month of October is about breast cancer awareness. You know, it's about reminding women that they should have the appropriate screenings.
That I will see a player wearing pink shoes when I'm watching the Redskins.
Exactly.
And I will be reminded that I should go get my
or
annual mammogram.
Or whoever is watching. So remember, this is probably one of the best ways. I mean, the NFL is watched by roughly, you know, it's the equivalent of half of the people in the United States are watching those games. And it's about awareness. And in addition to what the NFL contributes, they also contribute about $5 million in PSAs during that same time frame.
Stacey, I wonder, is there ever a danger that a cause like this becomes too big for its own good? That, you know, sort of the sea of pink becomes essentially white noise?
There definitely is that concern. I think for many nonprofits, they would love to have the pink explosion, though. And certainly, you know, we see causes that appeal to women who are consumers. That's one of the reasons that we have all these products coming out. So if you're a nonprofit that isn't in that kind of area or a more controversial thing, we wouldn't see necessarily support for Planned Parenthood as much.
Right.
You know,
or
something
even AIDS.
like
I mean,
that.
that was sort of another cause. You had Elizabeth Taylor.
Right.
So it's not that it's, you know, sort of is breast cancer overwhelming us. It's just what other causes are we not hearing about or thinking about, and what access to the money do those causes have?
Right. Lynn, I wonder if you could respond to these numbers, and these are from the National Cancer Institute. A woman now has a 1 in 8 chance of getting breast cancer in her lifetime. In 1975, it was 1 in 11, meaning there's about a 12% chance now. It was a little under 10%. Then what do you make of, on the one hand, we have had, as you say, a pink explosion, but on the other hand, the chances of a woman getting cancer relative to what they were in the 1970s are actually higher now.
They are. You know, there is that trend, and it gets even higher when you go into communities of health disparity. It gets higher as women, you know, are 50 and over. So, you know, our response to that is, number one, make sure that you have the appropriate screenings. And, you know, number two, the research that's being done now in terms of the ability to be able to cure breast cancer have gone up exponentially.
Stacey, is there anything comparable to this pink explosion? I mean, in terms of other diseases, causes, Jerry Lewis, maybe?
Probably not, but I think what's so interesting is there's a group called Movember that you may know about that is trying to make November the month that we pay attention to men's health, and they're trying to become the equivalent of pink. And it's a rare thing in society that the men are trying to get more attention and feel that the women have, you know, really gotten their big share of it, and men's health causes aren't getting enough attention. So you see many people growing mustaches during this month. That's one of the ideas of Movember, and that's why they're doing this. So they're emulating what has happened to Pink Month. So that tells you something about how important it is that we've changed in our society, that we're paying more attention to women than men right now.
Yeah, in terms of these health issues. Lynn, what have you learned from this partnership from the NFL?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. You know, what we've learned is that, you know, you really can impact awareness around breast cancer.
And you sort of have measurable statistics
yes,
to show
and,
that?
well, I would love to give them to you. We're completing those right now. But last year we saw a definite spike in terms of awareness. We saw a spike in intention for women to get screened. And we also know that we have basically impacted 40,000 women's lives. 10,000 of those women have gone out to have the appropriate screenings.
Stacy, best practices. If I'm someone who's got a couple $100, I want to give it to a good cause, what should I be thinking about?
First of all, I would think about trying to give it directly to the nonprofit so that you don't have to worry about this kind of percentage going to something, make a direct donation. Check out the group, ask some tough questions. Most nonprofits are putting more information on their own websites, and if for some reason they're not willing to answer your questions, that is a sign that they're possibly doing the wrong thing. And sadly, in this area, breast cancer is one of the causes that there are a number of scam charities, so you really need to be careful. Ask tough questions, ask to see their informational tax form, try to find out where the money's going, and if you feel that you're being pressured in any kind of way, don't give. There are organizations like the Cancer Society that have been doing this for a long time and that are trustworthy. Give to them instead of the ones that you think are a little fly-by-night.
Lynn, do you think that the NFL, in selling this merchandise, that they should put a breakdown in terms of where the money goes?
I think it would be helpful because I think, unfortunately, the NFL has taken a lot of heat this past October. And in a way, it's too bad. We're proud of that partnership with the NFL.
Will you ask them to do that, to
good.
put that breakdown on there?
We will be having conversations with the NFL, but I hope to continue the partnership with the NFL because I think that we are helping women every day. And again, it's about awareness and it's about prevention.
Lin MacMaster of the American Cancer Society and Stacy Palmer, you are editor of the Chronicle of Philanthropy. I thank you so much for joining me today. That'll do it for us this week. The conversation moves now to Twitter and our question of the day. What do you think of the breast cancer awareness movement? Is the NFL trying to improve research or just its own image? Weigh in on that with that hashtag #postback.